Most people are weak because they worship their limits. They announce exhaustion as if it were truth. They obey mood as if it were law. They speak when provoked. They react when pressured. They call this authenticity. It is submission, a dark brain hack that breaks human limits. Niccolo Machiavelli is not inspiration. It is severance. It is the deliberate separation between sensation and action. The masses cannot do this. They are addicted to reaction, addicted to validation, addicted to being understood. That addiction is the chain. The fundamental error of the majority is this. They believe limits are physical. They are not. Limits are psychological permissions. The moment you feel discomfort and slow down, you have granted authority to pain. The moment you feel insulted and respond, you have handed over control of your state. The minority who understand power see differently. They see emotion as raw data, not command, not identity. Data. Niccolo Machiavelli did not romanticize human nature. He dissected it. He observed that power does not reward sincerity. It rewards control. He wrote, "It is much safer to be feared than loved, if one must choose." That is not cruelty. That is clarity. Fear is stable. Love is volatile. Stability is power. Your limits are not in your body. They are in your interpretation. You felt tired and concluded you were finished. You were criticized and concluded you were diminished. You were ignored and concluded you were invisible. Each time, you reacted. Each reaction lowered your position. Each explanation leaked status. Each emotional display trained others how to move you. You lost control the moment you tried to defend your image. You lost rule the moment you tried to correct every misunderstanding. Rulers do not chase perception. They shape it through presence and silence. The dark brain hack is simple. You detach stimulus from response. You install delay. You control the frame. When attacked, you do not answer immediately. Silence creates pressure. When praised, you do not expand. Containment creates gravity. When challenged, you do not escalate. You lower your voice. You slow your pace. You hold eye contact. Presence dominates noise. You disappear strategically. Scarcity increases value. You speak selectively. Fewer words increase weight. You design your image, not through confession, but through controlled exposure. People fill gaps with projection. Let them. Projection is leverage. This is not about motivation. It is about position. Imagine a chessboard. The amateur chases pieces. The strategist controls squares. The dark brain hack is square control. You do not chase outcomes. You control space. Emotional space. Conversational space. Psychological space. Whoever controls space controls movement. Whoever controls movement controls the game. Breaking human limits is not about pushing harder. It is about refusing internal negotiation. When the mind says stop, you observe. You do not obey. When the ego says defend, you observe. You do not obey. Discipline replaces impulse. Strategy replaces mood. Silence replaces explanation. This is the boundary. On one side, the ruled. They are moved by circumstance. On the other side, the ruler. He governs himself first, then he governs the field. He who does not govern himself will be governed by others. That is law. If you are still listening, you are not average. You are at least willing to see without flinching. That is rare. Now, act accordingly. Repeat internally. I control my reactions. I rule my mind. I choose silence over impulse. I choose strategy over emotion. I hold position. Write it. Commit to it. Bind yourself to discipline. Human limits are rarely physical. They are perceptual. The body is capable of more than the mind authorizes. The mind halts first, not because it must, because it interprets discomfort as danger and grants it authority. That is the error. Limits are not walls, they are permissions, and most people sign them without reading the terms. Exhaustion is not a verdict, it is a signal. Fear is not a stop command, it is a stimulus. Doubt is not a prophecy, it is noise. The masses confuse sensation with instruction. They feel tired and conclude they are finished. They feel afraid and conclude they are incapable. They feel uncertain and conclude they are unqualified. In each case, perception collapses capacity. The world does not reward how you feel. It rewards what you execute. Yet most people elevate emotion to the rank of authority. They say they are being authentic when they react instantly. They defend themselves in public because they feel exposed. They explain because they feel misunderstood. They erupt because they feel disrespected. They call this honesty. It is undisciplined transparency. It is the reflex of the governed. Authenticity, as commonly practiced, is self-sabotage. Immediate expression is surrender. The moment you translate emotion into action without filtration, you reveal your triggers. You map your weaknesses. You hand others a manual on how to move you. Power begins where expression is delayed. Consider public criticism. The room tightens. Eyes shift. A statement challenges your competence. Heat rises. The instinct is to correct, justify, retaliate. The surge of defensiveness feels righteous. It feels necessary. It is neither. It is predictable. And predictability is vulnerability. In that moment, the limit is not your intelligence. It is not your preparation. It is your tolerance for discomfort. If you cannot endure 10 seconds of silence while being questioned, you are ruled by sensation. If you must speak to relieve pressure, you are relieving it for yourself, not strengthening your position. Silence under scrutiny is not weakness. It is control. When criticized publicly, hold posture. Slow your breathing. Let the words settle without immediate response. The room will interpret your stillness as composure. The critic, expecting resistance, meets absence. Pressure shifts. Control returns to the one who does not flinch. This is the first fracture in the illusion of human limits. The body reacts. The disciplined mind observes. Between stimulus and response, there is space. Most people collapse that space. They close it with impulse. The strategist expands it. In that expansion, power is born. The same principle governs fatigue. High-stakes work exposes the mind's negotiation habits. After hours of effort, the body signals strain. The mind begins its bargaining. This is enough. You deserve a break. You are not at your best. These statements are not truths. They are protective scripts. They are attempts to retreat from discomfort. If you treat fatigue as an order, you obey it. If you treat it as information, you assess it. There is a difference between structural failure and psychological resistance. Most people never learn the distinction. They stop at resistance and call it wisdom. Continuing execution when motivation drops is not recklessness. It is sovereignty. You do not accelerate blindly. You do not collapse either. You maintain pace. You maintain standards. You maintain form. The external rhythm does not mirror the internal fluctuation. This is discipline. Install delay as policy. When triggered, count. When tired, evaluate task importance before deciding. When doubtful, verify facts before altering course. Delay interrupts reflex. Delay weakens impulse. Delay repositions the mind above sensation. Treat emotion as data. Anger indicates a perceived boundary violation. Fear indicates perceived risk. Fatigue indicates strain. None of these dictate action. They inform it. The commander reads reports. He does not become them. Posture must remain constant. Tone must remain measured. Pace must remain deliberate. Internal turbulence does not justify external instability. Presence is a strategic asset. If your presence shifts with every emotional current, you have no fixed position. Human limits dissolve when emotional obedience ends. Capacity expands when perception changes. The mind that says, "I can continue," often discovers that it can. The mind that says, "I must respond now," loses the advantage of timing. The difference is not strength, it is governance. He who cannot command himself will obey his sensations. That is not philosophy, it is structure. Command yourself, or be commanded by every fluctuation within you. Emotional detachment is not coldness, it is weaponization of awareness. Most people fuse identity with feeling. They say, I am angry, I am offended, I am excited. They do not observe emotion, they become it. The moment identity merges with feeling, control dissolves, status follows. Detachment separates the operator from the impulse. You do not deny emotion. You refuse to kneel to it. You experience anger without performing it. You experience fear without advertising it. You experience enthusiasm without leaking it. This separation preserves hierarchy. You remain above the current instead of drowning in it. Modern culture glorifies transparency. It calls emotional exposure courage. It claims vulnerability builds trust. That narrative serves the weak. Transparency creates predictability. Predictability creates leverage. The more visibly you feel, the easier you are to move. Trust is not built through exposure. It is built through consistency and controlled strength. Visible passion is also misunderstood. Raised voices, animated gestures, intense declarations, these are often read as confidence. In reality, they signal investment without restraint. The passionate man is already entangled. He has shown what matters to him. He has shown where he can be pressured. Strength is not loud. Strength is measured. In negotiation, this difference becomes decisive. Pressure enters the room deliberately. An opponent challenges your proposal. He questions your competence. He implies urgency. He attempts provocation. His objective is simple: destabilize your state, accelerate your response, force concession through emotional friction. If you react, you lose position. If your face tightens, if your voice sharpens, if your pace increases, you confirm engagement. Engagement on his emotional terms is submission to his frame. He controls the temperature. You are merely responding. Detachment shifts the frame. Maintain a neutral face, not blank, not hostile, neutral. Controlled breathing stabilizes physiology. Slow inhale, slower exhale. Your nervous system is disciplined before your words are formed. The body becomes an anchor instead of a liability. Minimal verbal output is strategic. The more you speak, the more you reveal. Under pressure, words tend to justify, defend, explain. Each of these reduces leverage. Instead, respond with calibrated brevity, short sentences, direct answers, no elaboration unless it advances position. When provoked, do not escalate tone, lower it. Slower cadence increases perceived authority. Silence after their challenge forces them to continue. Most people cannot endure silence. They rush to fill it. In filling it, they expose insecurity, urgency, or hidden priorities. Excess is confession. Mirror selectively. If they lean forward aggressively, remain upright and composed. If they raise their voice, do not match it. If they attempt humor to destabilize, do not reward it with exaggerated reaction. Controlled mirroring can create rapport. Strategic non-mirroring can assert dominance. The key is choice. Automatic mirroring is weakness. Selective mirroring is power. Emotional detachment does not mean absence of strategy. It means clarity of strategy. You observe their micro-reactions. You track inconsistencies. You note where their tone shifts. While they attempt to read you, you are reading them. Their frustration becomes data. Their impatience becomes leverage. Identity must remain separate from outcome. If the deal fails, your worth does not diminish. If the proposal is rejected, your composure does not fracture. When identity is not at stake, emotional spikes lose force. This is why detachment preserves status. You are not negotiating for validation. You are negotiating for position. The opponent who attempts provocation reveals his own dependency. He needs your reaction to alter the balance. If you deny him that reaction, he must either escalate, revealing desperation, or recalibrate, acknowledging your control. In both cases, you gain information. Control of face, breath, tone, and timing becomes a psychological barrier. Others sense it. They cannot easily penetrate it. They feel the asymmetry. They speak more. They justify more. They push harder. And in pushing, they reveal more. The majority believe emotional transparency builds connection. In reality, it builds access. And access, unmanaged, erodes authority. Strategic opacity builds respect. When others cannot easily read your internal state, they approach with caution. Caution is distance. Distance preserves hierarchy. This is not suppression. Suppression is internal denial. Detachment is internal governance. You acknowledge emotion privately. You decide expression publicly. That decision is power. Emotion displayed is leverage surrendered. Remember this in every room. The one who feels the most intensely and shows it the most openly is rarely the one in control. Control belongs to the one who can feel without revealing, who can be pressured without accelerating, who can be challenged without defending. Detachment is not the absence of humanity. It is the refinement of it. It ensures that your emotions serve your strategy, not the reverse. Influence is not a reward for effort. It is a consequence of perception. Substance without positioning is invisible. Competence without image is diluted. The world does not measure your internal depth. It measures what it sees, what it hears, what it can categorize quickly. Those who ignore perception management remain powerful only in private. Power that is not perceived does not exist in the arena. Most people cling to a comforting illusion. If I am good enough, I will be recognized. This is naive. Recognition is not a moral response to merit. It is a strategic response to visibility, framing, and narrative control. Substance is necessary. It is not sufficient. The game is not about being good. It is about being seen as formidable. Another illusion dominates the average mind: the need to be understood. They over-explain. They clarify motives. They share background context. They attempt to align perception with internal intention. This is a leakage of power. Being understood is not the objective. Being strategically perceived is. Perception is shaped by absence as much as presence. When you reveal everything, there is no room for projection. When you explain every decision, you shrink your mystique. Ambiguity, when controlled, elevates status. People attribute depth to what they cannot fully decode. Image engineering is not deception, it is selection. You decide which elements of yourself are visible and which remain concealed. You design what others can access. Access determines hierarchy. In professional environments, the undisciplined individual overshares. Personal struggles, detailed plans, emotional fluctuations. They believe this builds connection. In reality, it lowers perceived stability. Stability is power. Unpredictable transparency reduces authority. Withhold personal details, not because you are secretive, because you are strategic. Colleagues do not need your internal narrative. They need your consistent performance and controlled presence. When you speak about yourself, keep it measured. Offer fragments, not full maps. Let others speculate. Speculation increases perceived complexity. Ambiguity creates elevation. When people cannot fully categorize you, they default to caution. Caution increases respect. Respect reinforces status. If they know exactly how you think, what you fear, what you want, they can position against you. If your motivations are partially obscured, they must tread carefully. Exiting conversations early is a subtle but powerful maneuver. Most individuals linger. They seek affirmation. They extend dialogue to ensure approval. This signals need. Need reduces leverage. Leave while interest is high. Conclude discussions decisively. We will continue this later. Then disengage. Your time appears scarce. Scarcity increases value. Value increases influence. The one who is always available is rarely powerful. Speak less than expected. When others deliver long explanations, respond with precision. Short sentences, direct observations, controlled pauses. Brevity signals clarity. Excess signals insecurity. The person who talks most often seeks validation. The person who talks least often controls attention. Reveal less than known. Knowledge is leverage. If you display everything you understand, you eliminate strategic surprise. Hold information until it strengthens your position. Controlled revelation amplifies impact. Sudden clarity at the right moment reshapes hierarchy. Control timing of visibility. Do not be constantly present in every discussion, every platform, every interaction. Select your appearances. When you contribute, ensure it alters direction. When you withdraw, ensure it is noticeable but unexplained. Presence and absence must both be deliberate. Design presence deliberately. Posture, pace, tone, attire, environment, all communicate. Image is not vanity, it is signaling. The careless assumed substance compensates for poor signaling. It does not. Visual and behavioral cues frame interpretation before your words are processed. If you appear uncertain, your ideas are discounted. If you appear composed, your ideas are amplified. The content may be identical, the perception is not. Therefore, image is not superficial. It is multiplicative. It magnifies or diminishes substance. Perception management also requires restraint under praise. Do not over-accept admiration. Do not over-expand in moments of recognition. Contained acknowledgement reinforces gravity. Excessive enthusiasm lowers mystique. Men judge more by the eye than by the hand. This is not cynicism, it is observation. People evaluate surface cues before investigating depth. The eye decides first, the hand is assessed later. If the eye is unimpressed, the hand is rarely examined. Image engineering is the core hack because it multiplies effort. Two individuals with equal capability will experience unequal influence. The one who understands perception will rise faster, face less resistance, and command more space. The one who ignores it will labor harder for smaller returns. You are always being interpreted. The question is whether you are designing that interpretation or leaving it to chance. Leaving it to chance is negligence. Designing it is strategy. Influence beyond effort is achieved when perception works for you, even in your absence. When your name enters a room before you do and carries weight. When silence from you generates anticipation. When limited words from you alter direction. This is not manipulation for vanity. It is control over narrative. And narrative governs hierarchy. Engineer the image. Guard the access. Shape the perception. Let effort operate behind a controlled exterior. Only then does substance translate into power. Silence is not emptiness, it is pressure. Most people fear silence because it exposes them. In quiet, insecurity becomes audible. They rush to fill gaps with words, explanations, reassurance. They believe constant expression signals strength. It signals dependence. Strategic silence is dominance over psychological space. When you do not react, do not clarify, do not pursue, you create asymmetry. Others are left to interpret. Interpretation consumes their energy, not yours. The one who speaks less controls more. The common illusion is that silence equals weakness. That if you do not defend yourself immediately, you concede. That if you do not respond to every message, every challenge, every shift in tone, you lose relevance. This is the reflex of the insecure. They equate noise with presence. Presence is not volume, it is gravity. Gravity does not shout, it pulls. Another illusion. Constant availability builds importance. The always accessible person believes responsiveness creates value. In reality, it creates familiarity. Familiarity erodes hierarchy. Say, when others can reach you at any moment, interrupt you at any time, and receive immediate replies, your time loses perceived weight. Availability is currency. If you distribute it freely, it devalues. If you regulate it, it appreciates. After conflict, the undisciplined chase resolution. They send follow-up messages. They attempt to repair perception. They explain intentions. They apologize excessively. They fear being misunderstood more than they value position. In doing so, they lower their leverage, refuse to chase reconciliation. Conflict is not always a problem. It is often a recalibration of hierarchy. When tension arises, withdraw. Do not escalate. Do not over-clarify. Do not pursue emotional closure. Silence forces the other party to sit with uncertainty. Uncertainty creates reflection. Reflection often creates self-doubt. Self-doubt shifts power. Absence generates speculation. When you withdraw without explanation, narratives form. Some will assume you are angry. Others will assume you are busy. Others will assume you are indifferent. Let them speculate. Each assumption reveals their priorities and insecurities. Speculation elevates perceived value because mystery magnifies significance. The predictable person is easy to dismiss. The unpredictable, yet composed individual commands attention. Withdrawal must be controlled, not dramatic, not theatrical. Simply reduced presence, fewer responses, shorter interactions, longer gaps, no visible agitation, no passive-aggressive signals, clean distance. Return without apology. When you re-engage, do not reference your absence unless strategically necessary. Continue as if your rhythm is normal. This reinforces the frame. Your time is yours to allocate. Others adapt. Let people adjust to your rhythm. Do not adjust reflexively to theirs. If someone pressures for immediate answers, slow down. If someone attempts urgency without consequence, maintain your timeline. The one who dictates tempo dictates structure. Silence in conversation operates similarly. When challenged, pause. When asked a loaded question, hold eye contact before answering. Let the weight settle. The other person will often continue speaking, revealing more than intended. Silence extracts information. Disappearance amplifies this effect on a larger scale. Strategic absence from meetings, platforms, or discussions creates contrast. When you return with a decisive contribution, it carries more impact. Constant presence dulls influence. Intermittent presence sharpens it. This is not about avoidance, it is about control of exposure. The weak disappear out of fear. The strategic withdraw out of calculation. Fear-based absence feels unstable. Calculated absence feels deliberate. Silence also protects you from emotional leakage. The more you speak during heightened states, the more you risk revealing impulse. By defaulting to silence under pressure, you preserve composure and image. Words can be analyzed. Silence cannot be misquoted. Understand the hierarchy of psychological space. The one who seeks reassurance occupies the lower position. The one who withholds reassurance occupies the higher. When others wait for your response, your value increases. When you wait for theirs anxiously, your value decreases. Scarcity intensifies authority because humans value what is limited. Time, attention, approval when scarce. They become meaningful. When abundant and uncontrolled, they become background noise. Strategic silence is not cruelty, it is filtration. It filters who can tolerate your pace. It filters who respects boundaries. It filters who seeks to manipulate through urgency. In every interaction, ask, who is chasing? Who is explaining? Who is filling silence? The one doing more is usually holding less power. Withdraw without explanation. Return without apology. Speak when necessary. Remain quiet when tempted. Control your availability as if it were capital, because it is. Scarcity intensifies authority. Silence is not the absence of action. It is action refined. Disappearance is not weakness. It is repositioning. Master these, and psychological space becomes yours to command. Ruthless internal discipline begins where negotiation ends. Most people live in constant negotiation with themselves. They bargain with discomfort. They debate with fatigue. They consult mood before action. This internal democracy produces weakness. Power requires dictatorship over the self. The dominant illusion of modern culture is that balance and mood should dictate productivity. If you feel inspired, act. If you feel drained, rest. If you feel stressed, retreat. This comfort-driven narrative sounds intelligent. It produces mediocrity. When mood becomes the authority, standards collapse. Mood fluctuates. Standards do not. Another illusion. Pushing beyond comfort is unhealthy or unnecessary. This belief protects the average. It ensures they never encounter their actual capacity. Discomfort is treated as danger instead of expansion. The moment effort becomes unpleasant, they interpret it as misalignment. In reality, growth is rarely aligned with comfort. Internal discipline is not cruelty toward the body. It is clarity toward the objective. You distinguish between damage and discomfort. Damage requires adjustment. Discomfort requires endurance. Most confuse the two. Boredom is not a signal to stop. It is a test of structure. When tasks become repetitive, the undisciplined mind seeks stimulation. It opens distractions. It delays completion. It rationalizes postponement. This is self-sabotage disguised as self-care. Execution, when bored, builds edge. It conditions the mind to operate without emotional reward. Applause is irrelevant. Excitement is irrelevant. The objective remains. You execute because it is required, not because it feels engaging. Fatigue follows the same pattern. After prolonged effort, the body signals strain. The undisciplined individual immediately reduces intensity or stops entirely. The disciplined individual assesses. Is the task critical? Is the deadline fixed? Is performance still technically stable? If yes, continue at controlled pace. Continuing does not mean recklessness. It means refusing to collapse at the first wave of resistance. Often, perceived exhaustion dissolves after 10 more minutes of sustained focus. The mind exaggerates limits to conserve energy. Discipline recalibrates the threshold. Lack of applause exposes another weakness. Many perform for recognition. When recognition fades, effort declines. Their drive was external. When the audience disappears, so does the intensity. This reveals dependency. Ruthless discipline operates without witnesses. The standard is internal and non-negotiable. Whether observed or ignored, you execute. Whether praised or criticized, you execute. Output is not tied to validation. Replace how I feel with what is required. This substitution is structural. It removes emotion from the decision hierarchy. You wake up and ask, what is required today? Not, do I feel motivated? You encounter difficulty and ask, what action maintains position? Not, is this comfortable? Define non-negotiable standards. Minimum output, maximum delay tolerance, response protocols. These are pre-decided. When conditions fluctuate, the standard remains. Pre-decision eliminates negotiation. Negotiation consumes energy and weakens resolve. Measure actions, not emotions. You cannot quantify motivation reliably. You can quantify tasks completed, hours focused, targets achieved. Emotion is unstable data. Action is measurable. Power is built on what can be measured and repeated. Self-negotiation often disguises itself as rational thought. I will perform better tomorrow. I need the right mindset first. This is not the optimal moment. These statements may occasionally be valid. Most often, they are avoidance. The disciplined individual questions these thoughts. Is this strategic delay or emotional retreat? If it is retreat, it is rejected. The body moves before the mind can construct further excuses. Internal dictatorship does not eliminate rest, it schedules it. Rest is planned, not reactive. Recovery is strategic, not indulgent. You rest because it supports performance, not because discomfort demanded it. When motivation is lowest, discipline must be highest. This is the dividing line. Anyone can perform when energized. Few can execute precisely when depleted. Precision, under low motivation, signals sovereignty. In high-stakes environments, this difference compounds. The individual who maintains standards regardless of mood accumulates advantage daily. The one who waits for ideal conditions resets repeatedly. Over time, the gap becomes irreversible. Ruthless discipline also protects identity. If you only act when inspired, you become fragile. Any disruption destabilizes you. If you act by standard, identity is anchored in consistency. Consistency builds reputation. Reputation builds influence. Discipline is superiority over the self. Superiority over others begins here. If you cannot override your own resistance, you cannot override external pressure. If you cannot command your impulses, you cannot command strategy. Transcending perceived limits is not about heroic bursts. It is about eliminating the internal vote. There is no debate about whether to execute. There is only execution. The mind will continue presenting arguments for comfort. That is its design. Your role is not to silence the voice. It is to refuse its authority. Standards over mood. Requirement over desire. Action over feeling. This is ruthless. It is also liberating. Because once self-negotiation ends, energy is no longer wasted on internal conflict. It is directed outward, toward structure, toward position, toward expansion. Human limits shrink when discipline expands. Not because capacity changed, because permission was revoked. Revoke it. Tempo is invisible power. Most people surrender it immediately. They equate speed with intelligence. They equate rapid response with confidence. They believe that answering instantly proves competence. In reality, speed often reveals anxiety. High-pressure environments expose this weakness. A question is fired. An accusation is made. A demand is placed. The untrained mind accelerates. Heart rate rises. Speech quickens. Words spill. In the rush to demonstrate capability, control is lost. Speed is not dominance. Control of speed is dominance. The illusion that fast equals smart is deeply conditioned. Quick replies are praised. Immediate reactions are labeled decisive. But true decisiveness is not haste. It is clarity. And clarity does not require panic. When you respond instantly to every stimulus, you operate inside someone else's tempo. They set the rhythm. You follow. This is submission disguised as efficiency. In confrontation, tempo determines hierarchy. The louder and faster individual often appears forceful, but force without control is volatility. Volatility is unstable. The calm, slower presence absorbs the aggression and redirects it without visible strain. Lower your vocal speed deliberately. Slow speech forces listeners to adjust. It signals that you are not pressured. It communicates that you are choosing each word. The slower cadence creates gravity. The room leans in. Pausing before answering is a calculated act. Silence after a question creates tension. Most cannot endure it. They assume the pause indicates uncertainty. In reality, it indicates control. You are not reacting, you are deciding. That decision-making pause shifts authority. It forces others to wait. Waiting repositions them beneath your timeline. In confrontation, when challenged, do not match intensity. Decrease it. If the opponent raises volume, lower yours. If they speed up, slow down. This contrast exposes their agitation. Your composure becomes the reference point. Observers align with stability, not noise. Forcing others to operate inside your cadence is strategic dominance. If someone interrupts, do not compete. Stop speaking, let them finish, then resume at your original pace. Do not accelerate to catch up. Maintain rhythm. This signals that your tempo is not negotiable. Never rush explanations. Lengthy, hurried clarifications signal insecurity. They suggest you need approval. Instead, deliver concise statements. If more detail is required, provide it gradually. Each addition should feel intentional, not defensive. High-pressure environments are designed to compress time. Deadlines, urgency, public scrutiny. The instinct is to move faster, but compression benefits those who remain steady. When others feel rushed, they reveal priorities, fears, and blind spots. Slowing down allows you to observe these openings. Master pacing in physical movement as well. Walk without haste, sit without fidgeting, gesture minimally. Physical stillness amplifies verbal authority. Rapid movement suggests internal instability. Tempo also governs digital communication. Immediate replies create expectation. Delayed, consistent replies create structure. If every message receives instant attention, you train others to demand it. If responses arrive at controlled intervals, you establish boundaries. Making others wait is not arrogance, it is calibration. You respond when it aligns with your priorities, not theirs. This reinforces position. Those who control their schedule control perception of importance. Speed can be used strategically, but only when chosen. A sudden, rapid response, after a pattern of measured pacing, can create surprise. The key is variability under control. Default acceleration, however, is weakness. The person who sets the rhythm sets the frame. Conversations unfold within tempo. Negotiations unfold within tempo. Even conflicts escalate or dissolve within tempo. When you dictate pace, you dictate structure. Pressure seeks reaction. Reaction seeks speed. Speed produces error. Slowness produces leverage. This does not mean lethargy. It means deliberate timing. It means knowing when to speak, when to pause, when to conclude. It means resisting the urge to fill every silence and answer every challenge immediately. In high-stakes rooms, observe who accelerates first. That is often the one who feels threatened. Observe who remains steady. That is often the one with leverage. He who sets the rhythm sets the frame. Adopt this as operating code. Slow your speech, slow your breathing, slow your gestures. Let others orbit your cadence. When urgency is introduced, assess it. Is it real or manufactured? Manufactured urgency is a manipulation tactic. Refuse it by maintaining tempo. Real urgency still requires clarity. Clarity collapses under haste. Control of tempo is control of perception. The calm individual appears confident, even if calculating internally. The rushed individual appears uncertain, even if knowledgeable. Dominance in high-pressure environments is rarely loud. It is measured. It is paced. It is unshaken by external acceleration. Set the rhythm. Hold it. Let others adjust. Effort is worshipped by the average. Position is understood by the strategist. Most people exhaust themselves proving dedication. They grind in the wrong rooms, under the wrong leaders, inside structures designed to cap them. Then they blame limits. Limits were never the problem. Placement was. The work-hard mentality, detached from strategic positioning, is a trap. It convinces you that persistence alone will break barriers. It will not. Persistence inside a confined structure only polishes the cage. You become efficient at producing results that elevate someone else's position, not your own. Leverage dissolves limits. Effort without leverage magnifies them. The illusion is simple. If I work harder than everyone else, I will rise. This ignores power dynamics. Hierarchies are not neutral merit systems. They are architectures of control. If you are positioned at the bottom of a structure that limits upward movement, increased effort only strengthens the structure above you. Position determines visibility, access, and influence. Two individuals with identical skill sets will experience radically different trajectories depending on where they stand. One operates in a room where decision-makers are present. The other operates in isolation. The first multiplies impact. The second multiplies fatigue. Choosing alliances is a strategic act. Aligning with individuals who possess reach, authority, or momentum accelerates your own trajectory. Aligning with stagnant networks anchors you. Loyalty without leverage is sentimental weakness. Most avoid repositioning because it threatens comfort. They stay where they are known. They stay where effort feels familiar. But familiarity is not progress. Strategic movement often requires temporary invisibility. It requires stepping out of spaces where you are comfortable but capped. Platforms matter. Where you speak shapes who hears you. Where you contribute shapes who credits you. A brilliant idea delivered in a low-leverage environment remains local. The same idea delivered in a high-leverage platform scales influence. Grinding in low-leverage spaces is seductive. It provides activity. It provides the illusion of progress. But activity is not advancement. Advancement requires structural advantage. Before committing effort, evaluate position. Who benefits most from this work? Who controls recognition? Who decides advancement? If the answers consistently exclude you, the structure is misaligned with your ambition. Trade visibility for influence when necessary. Public exposure without structural backing can inflate ego while limiting power. Influence, even if less visible, builds networks, trust, and long-term authority. The strategic individual prioritizes rooms where decisions are shaped, not where applause is loudest. Avoid battles that do not elevate status. Conflict consumes resources. If winning a dispute does not improve your position, it is wasted energy. Many fight for pride. Few calculate outcome in terms of hierarchy. When faced with opportunity, ask, does this expand my leverage? Does this connect me upward? Does this increase autonomy? If not, reconsider. Effort must be attached to structural gain. Repositioning may require discomfort. New environments test competence. New alliances require recalibration. But discomfort in high-leverage spaces is investment. Comfort in low-leverage spaces is stagnation. Limits often dissolve not because you became stronger, but because you moved. The ceiling in one environment becomes open, sky in another. Capacity did not change, context did. Architecting your environment is long-term strategy. It includes who you learn from, who you collaborate with, and who observes your work. Exposure to higher standards forces elevation. Exposure to complacency normalizes mediocrity. Even within organizations, micro-positioning matters. Volunteer for projects tied to decision-makers. Contribute where outcomes are visible. Decline roles that consume time without influence. This is not laziness. It is allocation. The wise conquer by position, not by exhaustion. Exhaustion is the trophy of the misplaced. Position is the advantage of the calculated. Power is cumulative. Each move should compound the previous. If your effort resets daily without structural gain, you are running in place. Strategic architects think in terms of ecosystems. Where does influence originate? Where are narratives shaped? Where are resources allocated? Insert yourself there, even if initially uncomfortable. Effort remains necessary, but effort must be leveraged. 10 units of effort in a high-leverage position outperform 100 units in isolation. Human limits shrink when leverage expands. Not because you work more, because each action carries more weight. Choose rooms carefully. Choose alliances strategically. Choose roles that amplify, not drain. Do not seek to prove how hard you can work. Seek to position yourself so that work multiplies power. That is conquest without exhaustion. Internal sovereignty is the only line that matters. Not talent, not opportunity, not background. The true divide is this: those who govern themselves and those who are governed by impulse. The ruler and the ruled are separated first within, then without. If your emotions dictate your tone, your timing, your decisions, you are already positioned beneath anyone who can provoke you. Emotional obedience sustains human limits. You feel pressure and you accelerate. You feel insult and you defend. You feel fear and you retreat. Each reaction reinforces the cage. The dark brain hack is not a tactic. It is operating code. It rewires the sequence between stimulus and action. Reaction ends, observation begins, control follows. You do not eliminate emotion, you subordinate it. You do not silence instinct, you overrule it. Perception becomes deliberate. You decide how you are seen. Pace becomes calculated. You decide how fast events unfold around you. Presence becomes engineered. You decide what others experience when you enter or exit a space. This is mastery. Not domination of others first, but domination of self. Most people seek external control titles, recognition, authority, while remaining internally chaotic. This is fragile power. It collapses under pressure. Internal sovereignty is stable. It does not depend on applause. It does not collapse under criticism. It does not rush under urgency. When reaction ends, clarity expands. When clarity expands, strategy sharpens. When strategy sharpens, position strengthens. Limits begin to dissolve because they were never physical walls. They were permissions granted to discomfort, to fear, to ego. Withdraw that permission. Install discipline. Maintain silence when provoked. Slow down when pressured. Withhold when tempted to overshare. Execute when unmotivated. Reposition when confined. This is not a phase, it is a permanent code. A ruler does not occasionally govern himself. He does so as default. Every room becomes terrain. Every interaction becomes structure. Every delay becomes leverage. The dark brain hack is the refusal to be moved without consent. If you are still reading, you recognize the weight of this standard. Good. Recognition is not enough. Commitment is required. Bind yourself to it now. Say it without hesitation. I govern my mind before I govern the field. I delay reaction. I control perception. I hold position. I do not negotiate with weakness. Limits were never physical. They were permissions granted to discomfort, fear, and ego. You were not restrained by capacity. You were restrained by reaction. The moment you obey emotion, you lower position. The moment you delay, observe, and choose response, you rise. The dark brain hack is simple and ruthless. Sever stimulus from impulse. Install discipline between feeling and action. Control perception. Control tempo. Control presence. This is not philosophy. It is operating code. Those who apply it gain leverage in every room. Those who ignore it remain managed by circumstance and by stronger wills. The first action of a ruler is immediate. Eliminate self-negotiation. From this point forward, you do not ask how you feel. You ask what strengthens position. You do not react instantly. You pause. You measure. You decide. This is the beginning of internal sovereignty. Do not treat this channel as entertainment. It is a training ground. Each idea is a drill. Each concept is a weapon. If you consume without execution, you are wasting proximity to power. If you execute, you separate from the average permanently. Do not share this with everyone. Share only with those who demonstrate discipline. The weak will distort it. The impulsive will misuse it. Power knowledge belongs to those who can carry it without collapsing. Select your circle accordingly. If you remain, bind yourself publicly. Write this oath in the comments and lock it into your identity. I control my reactions. I dictate my pace. I protect my position. I do not negotiate with weakness. From this point forward, you move differently. Slower when pressured. Silent when provoked. Precise when others are chaotic. Stand composed. Unreadable. Deliberate, a figure in the room whose stillness unsettles noise and whose presence bends the rhythm without raising his voice.